I cannot help but feel that all of this crap began around the time that I found that stupid damn tape. It was about a month ago, and I was looking through my attic when I found this old dusty VHS cassette case on the ground labeled November 1993. And this, of course, was the time I was born. I thought this was pretty curious, and it had a tape inside. I took it down to my room and popped it in the VHS player I had hooked up to my TV. The video was blank until 33 seconds in, I believe, when it showed old black and white footage of a beautiful pregnant lady dancing around in the park on what looked like a lovely summer day. There was the sound of her giggling shyly at the person operating the camera, only to fade out to quiet static sound. After 8 seconds of this, that's when it became disturbing. It cut to a close-up of a dead woman lying peacefully in a coffin, dressed nicely, decorated in flowers. Her face was covered in a veil, and in a black and white, you couldn't make out who she was. Perhaps she was a distant relative, I don't know. It must have been shot in a funeral, that I do know. After about 3 seconds, the video switches back to the lady in the park, only this time she's lying down, motionless, until the camera drops to the ground. And once again, it switches back to the lady in the coffin, only more zoomed out this time. But I could hear the sound of people sobbing in the background. And that's about the time it ends, thankfully. My only guess is that it was 2 sets of different footage taped over each other, as we used to do in the old days, you know? Now, my parents had always been strong and independent people. So that's why the day I came home to see them acting nervous, like they were trying to hide something from me, I got really scared. I went to my room, and the tape was gone. I asked them about it, but of course they denied knowing anything. I knew that they were lying. I mean, I was their child. I would know them better than who was half of each of them combined. There was no way I was being fooled so easily. So I persisted, asking them. But of course, my mother snapped and sent me to my room. I haven't seen the tape since that day. Mom left us after that night, and she didn't even say goodbye to us. It was so strange. They had always been so happy together. Why would she just leave like that? Things became even scarier when it dawned upon me that every trace of my mother in the house that I had ever known had gone missing. Photos of her appointments on calendars, awards, all of that had disappeared. And where did it go? There only remained a few photos of her and Dad from a very long time ago, before I had known them. She had taken all of these with her, that's my only guess, but why? Come to think of it, she'd taken everything of me with her as well. It was like I didn't exist. My father didn't stop crying, and I had never seen my father cry before. But God, I knew I'd heard it. He came so distant after Mom left. He never spoke to me, and he just avoided me altogether. And when I needed him most, 3 days later, he killed himself. There was just an empty noose in the attic. I didn't even get to see his body. It had been removed before I even got to see. That noose looks so old. My world started to fade before me. I came home to see that Dad, before he had died, had gotten rid of any recent photos of himself, just leaving the old ones of him and Mom. Dust had covered all the furniture in the house so quickly. The tears are so uncontrollable now. They can't stop streaming down my face. And I can't help but believe it all started around the time I found that stupid tape. Until this moment, a sudden realization has shot through me, stopping these tears, along with everything else I thought that I knew. I flashed back to a place of darkness that I knew all too well. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear that familiar sound of someone sobbing beginning to reach my ears. It was my dad. He was speaking to my mom from outside of the darkness I held within. Please, please get up. Please, I love you. I can't lose you. Not now. Not ever. Not with our baby. Not with a baby inside you. God, please. Somebody call an ambulance. And then suddenly, there was nothing. And now, I think I finally understand. I've never... I've never even existed.